Yeah.
Yeah.
Green, sort of.
I mean, he's a good man. He's really not
save
sure.
water and you want gadgets, you go to
He's
this stuff.
He's really not sure whether he wants to be a grillionaire or save the world, which is his ongoing thing. But he said to me, he rang me in a despair last week. He said, "What can I do?" And I said to him, first of all, I talked him through what I was saying about feeling and seeing. Right? It is not painful to feel. It is painful to not feel. I had real confirmation of that when I was on morphine in the beginning of 2010. I can tell you it is agony not to feel, for me at least. So we dealt with the Tao and his relation to the word first of all. Then I gave him a very simple activation, which my retainer clients, which you were there, probably didn't use it. Did you?
Which one from last week?
The one the day before yesterday. You're about to get annoyed with me, and now you're all humble with me. Good, okay. I told him to activate the Northwest. Now, as you will learn today, activating the Northwest this year is quite controversial. Does anyone know enough to know that? We'll deal with that. All of that we'll run through today, and you'll know why by the end of today. But you have to choose your day. You have to basically choose the orientation of the house. Therefore, you can only do your 4-point activation at particular times because of the orientation of the house. You have to choose the right orientation and the right place to be able to do something controversial. But the Northwest has in it the 7 star this year, and again, you'll know at least the banner headlines of what that means by the end of today, which is about getting your money that's overdue, getting paid. You've got receipts outstanding. The 7 star. The 7 star is a vicious star. It's not friendly. You can imagine it's a grabby sort of a star, so it can grab in both directions. But on the 22nd, as mostly the case this year, the fire is in the ascendant. It's a really good month for activations in terms of other months of June, actually. But the 22nd was really powerful, which is to do with the configuration of the hour, the day, and the month, which we want to do. That's further down the line. In fact, if you've done Bar Z, you'll probably have a bit of an idea of that, but I'm not doing that. Anyway, I told to activate the Northwest, though the orthodox activation was the Northeast, which is about property acquisition, and it's safe. The Northeast is okay this year, the Northwest is difficult to work with. Anyway, I got him to do that. He said, at 4 p.m. today, I started the Northwest activation. And he's had problems with his dad, so it's a bit of a clue. Northwest is dad, metal father. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Authority. Up until 4 p.m. we made no sales through our website. That would count as the worst sales day ever. We usually do 10 to 30 sales before lunch. At 4:05 p.m, first sale was made for £9. At 5:15 p.m, a customer who had asked us for a price for a larger order months ago rang up to pay for it. As of now, approx 7 p.m, we've still only made 3 sales through the site, but the 5 p.m. payment has turned a disastrous day to a better than average one. Hope it continues. Next day. It just got better. By the end of the day, we've taken 3 times what a normal day would be. Astonishing. Would it be possible to have a proper consultation? Blah, 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 blah.
So it works for everyone.
On the Padawan program, we'll talk a little bit about marketing. Okay, I mean that's very very subtle marketing. You give them something, and it works. But that was the right thing, the right time, the right place. Absolutely precise. Yeah, you will be able to do stuff much like that by the end of today. And I leave it to you to be responsible with it. Okay? So, first of all, if you have a building in mind, what you're going to need to do is to find the middle. Everything works from the Tai Chi. The Tai Chi is the heart. Shall I write that down? Tai Chi is the heart. I promise you won't need a lot of Chinese characters, Manuela, by the way. 22 is what you'll need. Say again?
I like Chinese characters.
Okay.
I'm ready to learn them.
Okay, well, there are only 22 you need, and sometimes if I start using Chinese characters, people can sort of, fall off their perch because it could be infinite. Yeah, but I will only use 22. Or sometimes I may show off with others, but only 22 that matter. Yeah, okay. The Tai Chi is the middle of the house. Okay, it is the geometrical center. It's the longest length by the widest width. Sometimes people make a meal of it, but it's really very, very simple. If you have an unusual shape, you can find the longest length. If you have a really difficult shape, like, this, say, look, longest length, widest width, ta-da, it's there, okay? And I usually pace it because pacing keeps me present. For me, very often, using things like sat-navs and computers, as Sheila will tell you, I'm not very likable. And they do me in. I mean, I can have a sat-nav or the map in this thing, with this bloody blue bouncing ball, telling me where to go, and I know where I am, and I know I need to go that way, and it's telling me to go that way, and I might as well just sit down on the pavement and cry. You see what I mean? Being present is rather important, so I pace. Yep. So I'll pace that, which means walk.
Yeah, I just have a question.
Yeah.
Because if you do that, so then you would never get a house with a Tai Chi outside.
Oh yeah, you would. Oh yeah, you would. That's a nice question. A bit sophisticated, but let's deal with it. Okay, be careful we don't get too clever with this. What Jocelyn's saying is the Tai Chi could be outside, which is very poor. Yeah? If this were like that, and this were like that, if I've done this, someone who's better at this could probably do this better. But it will move to about there. Need a bit more? Down here,
It's more of a gun shape, don't you? It's when it needs to be more of a... It needs to be more of a sort of shape, and then when you need to elongate both ways.
Let's not bother too much about that. You often find 19th century houses with the front door there, by the way, right here. Sorry.
I guess what I'm saying is that if you go by the longest length, or I don't know, is that length? Yes, length. So if you go by the longest length in the house, then, like, to me that doesn't look central. Like, I thought that you draw as if it were a rectangle and then go down the center.
Right, I'm saying don't.
Okay.
But
so then that keeps the Tai Chi in the house always, right?
No. That does look a bit eccentric to me. That's just because I'm crap at drawing. Yes. I hope you get the idea anyway. Okay, it's probably about there actually. But if this is a little bit longer, it will move up there, a little bit wider, and move to here. And that's quite common in 19th century houses. Right. It's bad news.
All right, so that's just your drawing, and it's not.
It's just terrible drawing. Should I do it again?
Okay.
How much out of 10, Jocelyn?
I got it. No, it's fine. I got it.
As I was saying, I pace it because pacing keeps me in the world, and pacing has me pick stuff up. So if we breathe into it, we treat this thing with respect. I change my clothes every day. I mean, jeans sometimes, naturally, I wear the same jeans sometimes for weeks on end, If I'm working, I wash and change them every day. I do not carry the chi from one day into the next, yeah? It's unusual for me to have, I don't drink coffee anymore, this is decaffeinated. Unusual for me to have either alcohol or coffee 12 hours either side. And sometimes I break these rules, but the more present we are, the better job we can do as a rule. So, careful not to overeat as well. And so, when I'm pacing it, if I've obeyed all those rules, then I may pick stuff up. I breathe into it, I go into the Tao. Now, a lot of nonsense is talked about being psychic. With Shania and I were talking about this morning. Psychic is just a question of telling the truth about how you feel, if you want to go that path. So, when you're pacing, you'll pick stuff up. And the odds are that your mind will say to you, well, that's ridiculous, I better not say that, they'll think I'm bonkers. Okay? So what you need to do is to make sure that you are sufficiently out there, open, honest, engaging, that they don't mind you being bonkers. I mean, nobody expects me to be rational, so but I suggest you cultivate the same thing. Yeah? So that when you're pacing, you're walking along from here, and you're counting, 1, 2, 3, 4. Pick something up there. There's something sort of fuzzy there. Maybe it's a banana. Seriously, we may have put something on some level which I'm probably working on something here. There's like some dizziness here. If you're picking up woo-woo stuff, for me, woo-woo stuff is either very strong sudden emotion, because if I'm present, if I've been breathing, it's not mine. You follow? If I'm trying not to feel frightened, well, I'm picking up the fact that I'm checking. You see what I mean? But if I'm going, well, I'm terrified, then I get suddenly big fear there's something here.
Could be my aftershow.
What?
Could be my aftershow.
It could, yes, it is a very frightening aftershave. You're right. It's a terrifying aftershave. Yeah. But you may well pick something up. I was doing a house for a QA student, actually, rather good QA student, and I said, getting a feeling in my teeth, something to do with teeth here. She said, oh, nothing to do with us. And then 20 minutes later, I said, what was this house before? Guess what it was? It was a dentist. I said, come on, want some applause. But actually. As I said, people don't expect me to be rational, and usually they expect me to do those. They don't even notice sometimes when I say things that have come from nowhere, and it's like it is appreciation that they don't particularly notice. You know, if you're really good at what you do, they stop being remarking when you say ridiculous stuff. They just get it. You know. So you pace it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 9, 10, 11, 12. Do you see I'm walking a bit funny? I picked something up there. I don't know what that is. It's like a stiff leg thing. I think I get an image of a sort of Dickensian figure with sort of gout and difficulty bending a little bit of the leg. And that may well be accurate. It may not be. But sometimes you'll pick up, you know, a person who lives there, a person who did live there, some sort of tendency, and you may find that you can locate it in some model. You know, when we work out the numbers that are supposed to be in particular places, it may be consistent, and it may not. Yeah, and doing it this way will be, in quotation marks, inaccurate very often. But in a sense, that's not what we're looking for. We're looking for truth rather than accuracy. We try and get it right, you know, but using lasers will give us a different quality of truth. Michael Rapp uses laser, by the way, but he's German. They have this very, you know.
Wind down.
Well, I'm just doing the whole racist thing. You lost me.
Sorry.
So what do I do?
Just put it down, and if you're going to stay at that end of the room, I can actually see
Yeah.
it.
How's that?
That's lovely.
And then, so let me do it again, and we'll find where it is. I usually carry crystals on me so that I can drop a crystal at the two intersecting points. And you know, it's quite common for me to lose count, especially if you've got a very chatty client, because they'll be asking questions very often. And you have to contain that while you're doing stuff. Sometimes you have to down tools and simply concentrate on the client, forget the house for a while. Sometimes that may be hours worth. You have to try and be appropriate to that. You know, if you put this in the context of healing, which essentially is what we're doing, then it is clear that people are more important than buildings. If you put it in the context of, you know, geometry, you're sort of lost. And the thing to get, you know, again, talking about this breathing into your feelings and being present, people are abundant when they're whole. So producing money for people who are, you know, just want money is a bit of a strange procedure. Making people healthy means they will have the money they're supposed to have. It means that things will fall into place. As I say, they may say they want one thing and actually want another. You know, they'll always get what they want. They may not tell me what it is. But my point is, if we heal, if we find what is difficult, if we find what is painful, if we find what is stuck, the various manifestations will follow. But to take money as a brief is quite a demanding thing to do. And for me, you know, that really silly, really. So, I think I made it 12. I'll try it again. I usually go back and forth several times. 1, 2, 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, just about 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So about there. So the crystal down here, so we have that line there. As I said, it's really easy to me forget whether that marks this way or that way. So the more marks I put down, the more I may actually get it right rather than disappear. No, you see, you're all going, how's he going to do that? Yes, you worked it out. Yes, exactly. Exactly. Someone smart enough to work it out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I'll go to the inside of the window, by the way. That counts. Yeah? And watch out for exclusions and odd shapes. 9 and a bit. 1, 2, 3, 4 and a half and a bit. So there's interest. It's not quite the middle of the table. So you put the girls there, have you? Yes, just now, not see.
Yes, I brought that into brag everybody.
But in the yellow dress, that's heavy. It's very cunning choice of wardrobe. You glance at it, you don't see anything but yellow dress. What did you see? I saw a yellow dress. Just looking for a crystal.
I think I have
got them. I have plenty in my bag. I can't get hold of them. These Levi pockets are a bit demanding. There we go.
I zoom in on the crystal.
So it's on this line here, and I may go back and forth and adjust until I'm confident that I've got it right. It's on that line with this one. So Shania, can you get that line right from you so you can we'll get it right this way? There, you put the paper there, you put the magazine there, didn't you? You were marking it, weren't you? The whole thing. Yeah, so if I give you this, Alyssa, can you put it where it should be? Little to my right.
Yeah.
Little to my right. Think. You may agree? I think your ruler's not squared the table. But I mean that's elusive anyway, it may not be important. The table might be wrong.
That's the crystal right, okay, yeah.
Little to my right, I think.
This way?
No, the other way. I think about an inch towards Melissa.
Yeah.
Yeah, you right? Move an inch towards me and then you see if you agree. Bit more. More than an inch, another inch.
Yeah.
Right, now see if you agree.
Yeah.
Okay.
Follows in line. Yeah.
Okay, and as I say, you can use lasers and you can use all sorts of techniques, but as I say, we're looking for truth rather than accuracy, and we just need to take responsibility for what we've chosen. Yeah? We try and get it right, and when we draw the map, we will need the fact that it was 12 by 9 and a bit. So you write down 12 by 9 and a bit. So
How do you write the bit?
How
do you write the bit?
You make it 9.6 or whatever. And when you draw the map, you'll want those dimensions. But the map will be wrong. Charts are always wrong. Do not get drawn into whether it's accurate or not. I had an email yesterday from a student of mine about a client she's doing a Bazi consultation for. She's a very gifted girl, this client who was trying to come back and asked her to explain exactly what Tinyu Guayan was in 2,000 of her own words. You need to establish sufficient authority that you don't get questions like that. So, why I said that? Why did I say that?
You're saying that it's not always right.
Yes, exactly. Precision is not the point. Exactly, truth is the point. Thank you. So, in relation to a Bazi, the reason that the woman has come back to her is because she has an outstanding question and probably doesn't trust the interpretation and blah blah blah. It's not actually she wants to know what Tinyu Guayan is. You see what I mean? Because it's very easy to confuse a survey and a lesson. And if we treat a survey as a survey, we don't get frustrated because we didn't understand it all. And if we treat a lesson as a lesson, that's the appropriate place to learn lessons. Do you see what I mean? It's a very easy mistake to make. And a very, very common in Feng Shui. The people invite me to survey and think they're going to learn something about Feng Shui. It maybe they will, but it's not necessarily either what I'm called there for, even what they've asked for. And I'm not going to be rude or arrogant about it. But if they can choose sometimes between having their lives changed and knowing what Tin Yu Huayan is. You see what I mean? They're different calls.